Yeah, so I always remember skating. Ever since I was a little kid. My parents bought me some double runner skates. Used to skate outside at this place in Maine. It's where I actually learned to skate. I think I was like 2 years old. My snowsuit, skating around the ice. It was pretty nice. Yeah, I grew up playing hockey. I played all my life. I knew I was never going to be a pro, but I loved it. I remember looking forward to going to the games and going to the practices. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I was 25 years old and I got diagnosed with Hodgkins disease. I remember I was leaving my company that I worked for, and I was going to go to my doctors and get a clean bill of health before I went to start work at a new startup company. Didn't really understand or know what they had for medical benefits. The company I had great benefits. Plus I didn't know how often I'd get to the doctor given I was going to be working at a startup company. I got done at the doctor's and I said, "Oh yeah, Dr. Bird, can you check this lump on my leg?" And instantly she said, "Yeah, you should probably go have that removed." Here I am, 25 years old, never had a surgery, and now she wants to go have this lump removed. Seemed like nothing. I had a great surgeon, Dr. Randall. He took out the mass and then he called me at work the next day and he said, "You have Hodgkin's lymphoma. Why don't you come over to the office tomorrow and we'll talk about what we need to do." This was the days before the internet, so I couldn't Google what Hodgkin's lymphoma was. So I asked my friend Dave, "You want to go to lunch with me? And by the way, I want to stop by the library. I want to look up this Hodgkin's lymphoma thing." And I remember Dave found it in a medical dictionary and he just looked at me and he said, "Dude, you have cancer." It was pretty shocking. I remember thinking, you know, when you're a kid and you're out back playing kickball and you think about what your life might be like when you're 25 years old, and you think of, you know, I probably got a pretty good job, I'm married, I may even have some kids of my own. You don't think, wow, you're gonna have cancer. It kind of made me feel like my plans of what I was supposed to do were kind of messed up, and I didn't really know what I was supposed to do. I'll tell you, I couldn't have done it without my family and friends. My friend Dave would have a party for me almost every weekend. It was like a process party. If I had to have a spinal tap, it was a spinal tap party. If I had to have a lymphangiogram, it was a lymphangiogram party. It really helped to keep my spirits up. When I went to have my spleen out, I remember my parents coming down from Maine and staying at a motel close to the hospital so that they could come visit me while I was in recovery. Every day from work, I would drive from the office at 3:30 into the hospital to have my radiation treatment. I couldn't have done it without family and friends. They would bring me from work to the treatment center or from the treatment center to my house because throughout the weeks I got pretty tired. I first learned of the Cam Neely Foundation and the Neely House during Comics Come Home. Some friends of ours had asked us to come see this comedy show about Boston comics that would come back, and they would do a fundraiser. It was hosted by Dennis Leary. It was a great show. And during the show, Cam Neely came out to talk to the crowd. And I've always been a fan of Cam Neely. As I said, grew up playing hockey. I was a fan of Cam when he first joined the Bruins. He talked about a skate challenge. And this skate challenge was to go out and raise money for the Neely House. So I went back and did some research on what the Neely House was and found out it was a house where family and friends can get together as children are going through cancer treatment. And it involved skating, and I knew that at that moment I wanted to participate. When I first signed up, I set a goal of $5,000. I figured I knew a lot of people and I could get a lot of people to sponsor me for this really good cause. I hit the $5,000 mark pretty quickly, so I upped my goal to $10,000. The Neely House was trying to raise $100,000, and I felt like if I could do 10% of what the overall foundation was trying to raise, I'd feel pretty good about my efforts. I used social media mainly to try to get the word out about sponsoring me for my skate. Facebook, Twitter. Each week on Facebook I would go in and select a group of my friends, and whether it be from an old job or high school friends or college friends, and send them a note. I figured I'd tell them my story, tell them about the cause, the Neely Foundation, and see if they could sponsor me. Each week, 5, 6, 7 people would sponsor me, get about $100 a person, and before you know it, I'm at, as we speak, as we tape this, I'm at 94% of my goal. My official skate is from 12 to 2 in West Roxbury. When I first signed up, they said I was going to have to show up at the arena at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I figured this was an all-day event. But then when the schedule came out, it said I'd be skating from 12 to 2. Well, I looked at the schedule and there's 5 arenas, and each arena has a 2-hour skate. So I've really decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to show up and skate for all of them. I figure if the kids can go through all of their treatment, I can easily skate for 2 hours on a weekend. I mean, when you love to skate, this should be pretty easy. I really hope to be able to do the skate every year and even try to raise 10% of the foundation's goal each year. I think it's a great foundation. I think it's fantastic that there's a place that families can go to be with their kids as they're going through this very difficult time. I really can't think of a better cause.